Hello and welcome. This is absolutely a weird book. It looks nothing like your normal Western superhero comic. In fact, it looks more like something you'd see in like Metal Hurlant or 2000 AD. That's really what the art feels like. And the writing, to some extent, also kind of feels that way. It doesn't really feel like an X-Men book, even though it's X-Men characters fighting X-Men villains. Just flip this open here. Ignore the ad for Maximum Carnage, which I remember having a lot of fun with, by the way. I remember that being a pretty good Spider-Man game. But over here, so this is how convoluted the X-Men timeline is. So you may or may not remember that Cable's from the future, sort of, but not really, and his parents are Scott and Jean, and they were temporarily in the future raising him. Like none of this makes any sense, by the way. Absolutely makes zero sense. But that's the X-Men world that we live in, because people that write the X-Men just can't have things make sense. I own one other issue of this book somewhere, of this series, I should say, and I got an issue of the further adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix. See, the adventures of. But they're here, and their son is biting the dust. And this is really where that whole, Western European comic as opposed to Western American comic thing comes through. You can see the people that worked on the book here. Gene Ha did the pencils, and then you had four different inkers over the course of the book. Absolutely wild. This is like almost as bad as X-Men Black Emma Frost from a couple years ago, which had like three pencilers and four inkers. Maybe it was four pencilers and three inkers. Like it was a ridiculously sized art team. The book was totally incoherent looking from that. This book is not totally incoherent looking, despite the different inkers. You get some different styles and places. Like you can tell maybe that different people worked on different pages, but it's not really jarring. But it definitely doesn't look like your average X-Men comic. There's a lot of pretty grody looking stuff here as the techno-organic virus tries to kill Cable. And this is the issue where Cable, through talking with his kind of dead sister, Rachel, learns how to control the techno-organic virus with his powers. It's also the issue where the Summers family goes to kill Apocalypse. Finally. Pretty exciting stuff. So in this future, there's a clone of him named Strife, because of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Oh, you know what? Hold on. There is a page in here where there's a reference to a book, but I don't know where it's referencing it. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I see the asterisk now. I didn't see it when I first read it, and I was like looking all over this, like, which sentence is he actually referencing as being part of the Executioner song? And then never mind, I see it now as soon as I flip to the page. So anyway, Apocalypse wants to move into that body. That body is a clone of Nathan Gray, aka Cable. So he wants to take over Cable's body. Only since this is a clone, he can't really pull that off for some reason. It's not exactly clear why. Also, his henchman over here is totally like, you can't just like move into his body. He's a kid. Like that's wrong, boss. When you work for like a completely genocidal maniac boss, things like that kind of ring hollow to me. But whatever. So Nathan like learns how to control his powers. Him and Scott go to save the day as after Jean and the henchman try to stop Apocalypse, and they go for it. You got the Summers family reunion here for like the first and last time. Parents and kid in one place at the same time, with the kid not being Cable. God, this is so convoluted. Time travel makes this stuff so convoluted. And they have a bit of a showdown with Cable. They have a little bit of a fight. But it's not like your typical superhero fight either. So it's not like there's big explosions and buildings toppling and all that kind of stuff. It's much more muted. Again, very much not like your typical American superhero comic. This is actually a very different flavor. And I don't know if I necessarily really like this flavor, but it worked pretty well because the story also isn't like a typical Western American superhero story. It's a little more introspectory, whatever. More introspection, and it's weirder. Kind of necessitated by the fact that very premise of the book is really weird and kind of dumb too. All told, I had a pretty good time reading this. Wasn't sure what to expect going into it, except for weird art, and turns out I kind of liked it. So maybe I'll go read. I think I had issue 3. Maybe I'll go read that next, even though I've already read the end of the story. Why not? I have the power to go be a weirdo. Why not do it? Anyway, thanks for joining me here. You all have a great day, great night, great whatever you got going on. I hope to see you again next time. Till then, take care of yourselves. Be sure to hit that like button and, ring that bell to keep the Eldritch Horrors at bay. Bye-bye.